Yo, what's up, sports bettors? So PrizePicks Underdog Fantasy, they're a new type of sports gambling platform. They're called DFS Pick'em websites, and they work a little differently from traditional sports books, as we'll discuss. But there's a bunch of other platforms like PrizePicks and Underdog. They have a bunch of competitors, Jock Market, ParlayPlay, Sports Battle, Better. So I'm kind of going to break down which of these books are best. Underdog Fantasy is personally the one I've been most successful on, but each of these books is a little different. They have their own unique advantages, perks, stuff like that. So I'm going to be breaking down which of these books is best to get, which ones are the most, profitable, easiest to make money off of. So let's get into it. So we'll start by explaining how these DFS Pick'em websites like PrizePicks, like Underdog Fantasy, are different from traditional sports books. And there's a few things that you got to know. First of all, on all these platforms, PrizePicks, Underdog, ParlayPlay, you can only bet on player props. So there's no money line bets. You can't bet on which team is going to win the game. You can't bet on point spreads, how many points are going to be in the game. You can't bet on any of that. It's only player props. Second of all, is there's no straights. Everything you place, you're going to need at least 2 picks. You can't include at least 1 pick. There are no straight bets on these platforms. So on PrizePicks, you're going to notice they tell you, hey, the minimum number of picks you're going to need is 2. And it's the same thing with Underdog Fantasy, ParlayPlay, all these fantasy pick'em websites. It's just how they work. You need at least 2 picks in your entry, okay? Third thing is they have fixed payouts. So what I mean by that is if you look at PrizePicks, Underdog, ParlayPlay, Jock Market, all these platforms, they all have the same payout for 2 pick entries, and it's a 3x payout. So you're putting down 20 to win 60. 20 for a payout of $60 for a 2 pick entry, which means 20 to win 40 in profit. And it doesn't matter if you select overs, unders, baseball, soccer, whatever. You're always getting a 3x payout for 2 pick entries on these platforms. So all these platforms have fixed payouts. So first thing to mention is how many picks you go with on each of these platforms really matters. So I explained before, basically all these platforms for 2 pick entries, they're going to give you a 3x payout, but things start to differ once you start playing 3, 4, 5, or even 6 pick entries. So for example, for 3 pick entries, you need all 3 picks to win. So this is called a power play on PrizePicks. They're only giving you a 5x payout. So you're putting down 10 to win 50, and you need all 3 picks to win. Now, you may think this payout is pretty good. You're putting down 10 to win 50, but it sucks. It's horrible. ParlayPlay also has a 5x payout. Underdog Fantasy, on the other hand, has a 6x payout, right? A lot better. So 6x versus 5x, this really affects your profitability long term. So long story short, it really matters on each of these platforms how many picks you're going with. And I'll kind of break down on each of these platforms what the optimal number of picks to go with is. But on PrizePicks and ParlayPlay, you really want to stay away from 3 pick entries. You know they're ripping you off because they're only giving you 5x when Underdog is giving you 6x. So we can go through how many picks are optimal on each of these platforms. Again, they have different payouts. I just showed you an example with these 3 pick entries. So it really matters how many picks you're going with. So for example, on PrizePicks, you only want to be going with 5 and 6 pick flex plays. You'll see every single play I give out, all the profits I've made this year are from playing 5 and 6 pick flex plays. That's the only type of slip I go with because it's mathematically optimal, as we'll kind of explain. But the first thing I want to mention is how these platforms make money. So you're going to notice on all of these platforms, every single one of these DFS Pick'em platforms, PrizePicks, Underdog, ParlayPlay, you're going to have to win at least 53.2% of your picks to be profitable, right? So for example, if you look at Sanders over under 2.5 TDs, let's say you have no advantage, right? If you have no edge or no advantage over the sportsbook, you're only going to be able to win these over-unders 50% of the time, right? Like if you let your grandma pick or your grandpa pick these bets, they don't bet on sports, they don't watch sports, they're probably only going to be able to get these over-unders correctly 50% of the time. That's having no advantage. It's like flipping a coin. 50% heads, 50% tails. So if you have no advantage, you're going to be 50-50 to win all your picks. But on all these platforms, you have to have an edge, right? You have to win at least 53.2% of your picks to be profitable. So for example, on PrizePicks, if you're playing 5 and 6 pick flex plays, and you can win your player prop picks like Sanders over under 2.5, if you can get those correctly, let's say 60% of the time, so you're winning 60% of your picks, you're gonna be profitable. You're winning your picks like Sanders over under 2.5 above 54.2% of the time. That's gonna make you profitable on PrizePicks. If you can only win, let's say 52% of your picks, you're losing 48% of your picks, you're gonna lose money. You're not winning your picks at least 54.2% of the time. So these are the key numbers you have to beat on each platform for the optimal slip type. So on PrizePicks, the best type of slip is a 5 or a 6 flex, and that's because you only have to win your picks 54.2% of the time to be profitable. So if you can win your PrizePicks player props, again, like Sanders over under 2.5, if you can win those picks 55% of the time, you're gonna be profitable long-term on PrizePicks. Positive ROI. You can only win your picks 52% of the time, you're gonna lose money. On ParlayPlay, you wanna go with 5 or 6 pick insured entries. ParlayPlay, we'll get to it a bit later. They have a little higher payouts, better payouts than most other sports books. You only have to win your picks 53.2% of the time to be profitable. So for example, if you can win your player prop over-unders, just like Sanders over under 2.5, right? If you can win those picks correctly 54% of the time, you're gonna lose money on PrizePicks, playing 5 and 6 pick flex plays, but because ParlayPlay has slightly better payouts, you're gonna be profitable, above 53.2%. And again, everything I'm focused on in this video is long-term profit margin, right? If you're looking for a Hail Mary $1 to win $1 million parlay, this isn't the right video for you. Underdog Fantasy, you have a few different options, right? So PrizePicks and ParlayPlay are 5 and 6 pick insured entries. Flex just means insurance on PrizePicks. On Underdog, you have a few options. 3 picks with no insurance, or 4 or 5 picks with insurance. 3 picks, no insurance. It really matters. 3 picks, no insurance. You want to get that 6x payout. Again, Underdog has pretty good payouts for those 3 pick entries. Or you want to go with 4 or 5 insured entries, and you have to win at least 55% of your picks on Underdog to be profitable. On Jock Market, it's 5 pick insured entries. They have the exact same payout as PrizePicks. Their 5 pick with insurance is the exact same thing as a 5 pick flex play on PrizePicks. So it's the same break-even win percentage, same payouts between platforms. And then on Sports Battle, it's 5 picks with no insurance. I think they're called attack plays, and it's 55%, which is the same as Underdog Fantasy. So again, it really matters what type of slip you're going with. If you have any questions about this, you can drop them below. I know there's some other DFS Pick'em platforms like Better, but I tried to focus on the most popular ones. So these 5 platforms, here's the optimal slip type, required win percentage to be profitable. And let's get into some more information about these platforms. So now we can go through each of these platforms. What are the pros? What are the cons? So we'll start with PrizePicks, a platform I'm up $10,000 on this year. There are some pros, there are some cons, but I'm always gonna encourage sports bettors to have as many accounts as possible. So the reason is, first of all, PrizePicks has a sign-up bonus. These sign-up bonuses, it's the easiest money you're gonna make. They're trying to lure in new customers. So all these books give you an $100 deposit match. Most of them do. So PrizePicks, you sign up, you put in $100, they match it, you have $200 in your account. Easiest money you're gonna make. It takes literally a minute to sign up for PrizePicks. Now, the second reason you wanna have more than one sportsbook account is all these books have different lines from one another, right? The odds and the lines on PrizePicks aren't the same as the lines on Underdog Fantasy. Sometimes there's really good bets on Underdog Fantasy. I'll have more bets on Underdog in a given day. Other times there's more value on PrizePicks, right? So ideally you have more of these sportsbooks. I use them all, right? Sometimes there's really good bets on Jock Market, sometimes ParlayPlay. So I want to have as many of these sportsbook accounts as possible. But anyways, pros and cons of PrizePicks. What are the pros? We'll start out with the good stuff. So the pros are they run a lot of promos. So every single Tuesday, PrizePicks runs this promo. It's called Taco Tuesday, where they discount certain players' lines. So this just gives you easy value. When you're looking for good bets on PrizePicks, it's easy value, right? They're discounting these players' lines. And the great thing is it's consistent. They run this promo every single Tuesday. Every single Friday, they run a promo called Flex Friday. And basically what Flex Friday is your first bet of the day is risk-free up to $20. So if you place your first bet, it loses, you get your money back, right? So PrizePicks has a lot of promos that you can take advantage of, which is a nice thing about this platform. Second thing that's great about PrizePicks is correlation. So this is a little complicated. I've covered it in some other videos about esports betting. I've had a lot of success with esports on PrizePicks, but on PrizePicks, you can bet on esports players on the same team in League of Legends and in Dota. So this is a little in the weeds, but random point about PrizePicks. Most sportsbooks, they don't let you bet on players on the same team, but it's a really big benefit on PrizePicks because esports players on the same team for League of Legends and Dota 2, they're positively correlated to go the same direction. So if one guy goes over, then his teammate is more likely to go over. So long story short, there are some correlation benefits of having PrizePicks. Now, what are the cons of PrizePicks? Biggest con of PrizePicks is limits. PrizePicks knows I'm a profitable customer. At this point, they've really cut down my bet sizes. I used to be able to bet things for like $500. Now they've cut me all the way down to $25. So if you're a winning bettor, PrizePicks isn't gonna keep you around long. They're gonna cut down your bet sizes. Do I still use PrizePicks? Sure, because there's good bets on it, but it's really, hindered my ability to make money because they're cutting my betting limits down so low. So pretty simple. If you can win your bets, your over-unders on PrizePicks above 54.2% of the time, you're gonna make money. It's not about looking for locks. There's no guaranteed wins. This is gambling with an edge. If you can win your bets on PrizePicks, your prop bet over-unders above 54.2% of the time, you're gonna make money. So how do you do that? The first way is you compare the lines on PrizePicks to the odds on sportsbooks. So for example, one play I went with is Pitts under 3.5 receptions. And if you take a look at every single sportsbook, right, even if you can't bet on sportsbooks in your location, you can still use the odds they're putting out, their market, to your advantage to find good bets on PrizePicks. So you'll notice every sportsbook has Kyle Pitts heavily favored to go under 3.5 receptions. Every book has his under favored. They're all telling you, hey, Kyle Pitts is a lot more likely to go under as opposed to over. So this is a sharp bet to go with on PrizePicks. It's winning above 54.2% of the time, and you can see that because all the sports books have him heavily favored to go under, right? In this play, I found on the OddsJam positive EV tool. So the positive EV tool, it works for sports books. It works for DFS sites like PrizePicks. So on PrizePicks, all it's gonna do is scan the market and point out spots where PrizePicks has a line at 3.5, whatever, and all the sports books have the under or the over. In this case, it was the under on Kyle Pitts, the under heavily favored. So the second way to find picks winning above 54.2% of the time, sharp picks on PrizePicks, is you find line discrepancies. So in the previous example, all the sports books and PrizePicks had Kyle Pitts' line at 3.5. The reason it was a sharp pick on PrizePicks, a profitable bet winning above 54.2% of the time, is all of the sports books had the under super heavily favored. Now, you may be wondering, okay, but what if books have the line at different levels? Well, that can also show you player props winning above 54.2% of the time. So here you can see a Canadian Football League play. Adams' line was 284.5 on PrizePicks. Every other book, again, all these books have sophisticated models. We want to use all of this market data, where every book is setting their line to our advantage. You're going to see every book had Adams' line a lot higher at like 295, 299.5. So all of these books are telling us, hey, PrizePicks' line is too low at 284.5. You want to be on the over, and that's exactly what I did. I took the over on PrizePicks. That's another play winning above 54.2% of the time. And again, you can find these line discrepancies on the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer. So what this tool is going to do is scan all the sports books, Underdog Fantasy, FanDuel, updating millions of odds, and point out, hey, here's a line where PrizePicks is way too low relative to the rest of the market or way too high relative to the rest of the market, and get you player props winning above 54.2% of the time in a data-driven way. So we went through PrizePicks. Underdog Fantasy is a platform I've been more successful on. I've made more money this year. On Underdog Fantasy, same thing with last year. I had a really good year on Underdog Fantasy. So let's discuss the pros and the cons. Pros are Underdog Fantasy, just like PrizePicks, they run a lot of really good promos. So just like PrizePicks, they have a $100 deposit match. You put in your first 100, they'll match it. You'll have $200 in your account. So my refer a friend code is ALEXM. If you don't use Underdog yet, helps me out. You get a $100 deposit bonus. You put in 100, you get 100 for free. So Underdog Fantasy, just like PrizePicks, has a lot of good promos. And then other pros of Underdog is they have decent limits, right? So on Underdog Fantasy, I can still bet $100. Again, PrizePicks has slashed me to $10 or $25 depending on the sport, which kind of sucks. But that's just how it goes sometimes, right? There are tons of sports books, so some may eventually cut down your bet sizes if you're absolutely crushing them, but that's just kind of how it goes. Final pro of Underdog Fantasy is they have a lot of good lines. There's a lot of good bets that I find only available on Underdog Fantasy, which is obviously another pro of betting on Underdog. So next we can talk about ParlayPlay. And this platform has pros and cons. You can see I've made like 3K this year, decent ROI. But what kind of stinks about ParlayPlay is they have pretty low betting limits. You're only going to be able to bet a max of $60 on these 6-pick entries, but they have better payouts than PrizePicks. So if you compare PrizePicks, their payouts for 6-pick entries versus ParlayPlay, you'll see ParlayPlay's better. Obviously, the payout you're getting matters long-term in terms of your profitability, so that's one benefit of ParlayPlay. So we can talk a little bit more about ParlayPlay. They also have a $100 deposit match, easiest money you're gonna make. Put in 100, they'll give you 100 for free. My refer a friend code is just my name, ALEXM. So let's talk about ParlayPlay. Again, I showed you just now, they have better payouts than PrizePicks for these 6-pick entries, which are the optimal type of slip. So the biggest benefit of ParlayPlay and why I encourage you to have this platform is on ParlayPlay, you only need to win 53.2% of your bets, just like Daniel Jones, over under 213.5 yards, to be profitable. If you can win 54% of your player prop bets, you're winning 54% of your picks, you're only losing 46% of your picks, you're gonna make money on ParlayPlay. Every other platform, Underdog, PrizePicks, you're gonna lose money on them, right? PrizePicks has a break-even win rate of 54.2%. So that's the main benefit of ParlayPlay, right? Again, they have slightly lower betting limits than Underdog Fantasy and PrizePicks, at least before PrizePicks limited me. So they have slightly lower betting limits, which sucks, but it's the easiest book to make money off of because they have the best payouts. So if you're gonna take a pick on ParlayPlay versus PrizePicks, let's say a play is available on both PrizePicks and ParlayPlay, you would rather place that bet on ParlayPlay because ParlayPlay is giving you better payouts than PrizePicks. You should not be loyal to PrizePicks. This isn't a marriage, right? Like, you should use ParlayPlay for your picks in general because they're giving you better payouts. Now, some other benefits of ParlayPlay, just like Underdog, there's a lot of good lines. I only started using ParlayPlay a few months ago. I'm already up $3,000 on pretty low betting limits. And one other benefit about ParlayPlay is they run this daily promo where you can essentially bump a line in your favor. It's only a $20 max bet size, but for example, for this play on Daniel Jones, let's say we think Daniel Jones is gonna have a horrible game. He's gonna go under, right? We can bet him under 213.5, or using this ParlayPlay promo, you can only do it once per day for a max bet size of $20. You can bump his line up to 218.5 and still hit the under. So you're getting an extra 5 yards of value. And you can do this for any pick you want. You don't have to use it on NFL. You can use it on esports, MLB, whatever. You can bump the line in the direction you want to. So instead of getting under 213.5, we can get under 218.5, which is obviously better. So that's a benefit of ParlayPlay. And again, I recommend getting as many of these books as possible. I use them all. It takes just a few minutes to sign up. Most of them have $100 deposit matches. ParlayPlay does. My refer a friend code is ALEXM. So check it out. So the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer, it works for all these different platforms like ParlayPlay. As we explained earlier, on ParlayPlay, you gotta win 53.2% of your prop bets to be profitable. If you can hit 55%, only losing 45, you're gonna make money. So the Fantasy Optimizer just scans the market, shows you prop bets winning above 53.2% of the time. Pretty simple. So a few more books we can go through that I've used. The first one is Jock Market. So Jock Market, I've had a crazy ROI this year, definitely running a little hot, and they have the exact same payouts as PrizePicks. Right? For their 5-pick entries, it's the same payout structure as PrizePicks. So you may be wondering, why would I have PrizePicks and Jock Market? And there's two reasons. Again, PrizePicks runs some really good promos like Taco Tuesday. Jock Market also has promos. Jock Market also has an $100 deposit match, and I'll include a link below to claim that $100 deposit match in the description. So all these books have their own promos, and also all these books have different lines from one another. So sometimes there's really good bets on Jock Market that aren't available on PrizePicks, right? So that's a benefit of having both of them. So definitely recommend Jock Market. I've had a lot of success on it this year. NHA is a sports book I ran really hot on, and then you can see my profit chart goes flat. This verified bet tracker I use to, track all my bets. It's a verified bet tracker. It syncs to your accounts. It's called Pick It. But you can see here, I made $10,000, then they went out of business. So I don't have much to add about No House Advantage or NHA because they're out of business at this point. Sports Battle and Boom Fantasy are two relatively new platforms, DFS platforms, new competitors to PrizePicks. They're not currently available on Pick It, and I haven't placed a lot of bets on them since they're new. So I don't have much to add about Sports Battle, but what I will say about Boom Fantasy is they have crazy promos. I mean, some of the promos you see are so good, it's like absurd. I mean, it's basically free money. So on Boom Fantasy, I haven't found a lot of value in general. I haven't seen a lot of good lines to bet, but their promos alone make it worth signing up because they run these promos typically every week, and some of them are really profitable. So the final types of fantasy platforms that we're gonna discuss, they actually have variable payouts. So this is a little different than PrizePicks and Underdog Fantasy. If you remember, on PrizePicks and Underdog Fantasy, any 2 picks you select, you're getting a 3x payout. Doesn't matter if you take overs, unders, soccer, baseball, football, whatever. Any 2-pick entry has a 3x payout. So these platforms are a little different because they have variable payouts. So on Sleeper, if you take a player's over versus his under, they're actually going to give you a slightly different payout. So they work a little differently than PrizePicks and Underdog. But both platforms I've signed up for, both have $100 deposit matches. I almost never can find good bets on Sleeper. All I bet is their promos. They run weekly promos. You can see I'm already up a couple $100, literally just betting their easy money promos, right? Like Christian McCaffrey to get at least 1 yard, Tyreek Hill to get at least 1 yard. Those are free wins. It's free money. That's basically all I bet on Sleeper, and I'm already up a couple $100. So I don't have much to add about both of these platforms, except for they're a little different than PrizePicks and Underdog because they have variable payouts. They change your payout based on you selecting over versus under, which makes them a bit different of a fantasy platform, but you can still make some good money on them. So you may be wondering, well, which of these platforms should I get? And again, I recommend getting as many as possible, but if you're only gonna pick one, I would say the best one to get is ParlayPlay. And the reason is, again, they offer the best payouts. You need to win the lowest percentage of your picks to be profitable on this platform. If you want a second one, I'd say Underdog Fantasy. Again, that's the book I've been most successful on this year, so those two are a great starting point. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully it was helpful. If you have any questions about these DFS sites, how to make money on them, feel free to drop them below. Any other types of content you want to see, feel free to drop it below. Let's make some money, guys.